Back in 2010, it came to light that the rock band Queen was planning on doing a biopic about their career. While Rami Malek would go on to play frontman Freddie Mercury, it was originally envisioned that Sacha Baron Cohen of Borat and Bruno fame would play Queen's frontman. Years later, Cohen revealed why he was no longer part of the film and why things fell apart, and he would even go on to reveal that the original script seemed like a terrible idea. One member of Queen wouldn't mince words about his disdain for Cohen, and we're going to talk about all of that in today's video. In September of 2010, guitarist Brian May would let it slip that Queen was working on a biopic that actor Sacha Baron Cohen had been pushing for. May would tell the Hard Talk show, "We have Sacha Baron Cohen, which will probably be a shock to a lot of people, but he's been talking with us for a long time." It was initially reported that shooting would begin sometime in 2011, but by April of that year, shooting hadn't begun yet. Brian May would give an update telling the Daily Record that they were still in discussions with Cohen and that the actor told him personally that he was born to play Freddie. However, May would reveal that the rest of the Queen organization was reluctant to do a film, fearing it could hurt the band's legacy, stating, "It is a project which is taking up a lot of time, even though it's in the preparatory stages. It is a bit too early to say how we will feel about it. Obviously, we go into it with a great amount of enthusiasm, but also a certain amount of caution because Freddie's legacy is very precious, and we have a great responsibility not to mess it up. It is more about Freddie than it is about us, and that is deliberately so. We have resisted making this film for a long time, and it is only now we feel we have the right people that we could have given it the okay. Sacha does seem perfect. If it hadn't been for Sacha pushing and pushing, we wouldn't be at this point. We didn't choose him, he chose us. He's passionate about playing Freddie. For years, he's been saying he's going to do it," May would conclude. Then a few years would go by, and in July of 2013, it was reported that Cohen and Queen had parted ways on the project. It was reported at the time that creative differences led to the split, with Cohen wanting the biopic to be nitty-gritty, while Queen wanted the movie to be more restrained and sanitized. Brian May would claim that the two parted ways on good terms, but in 2014, both May and drummer Roger Taylor gave an update on the film, and May would tell Classic Rock magazine, "In the end, we felt his presence in the movie would be very distracting. We thought there has to be no distraction in the Freddie movie. You have to really suspend that disbelief. The man who plays Freddie, you really have to believe in Freddie. And we didn't think that could really happen with Sacha." May would go on to say that he was a fan of Cohen, but drummer Roger Taylor was less enthusiastic, saying, "We don't want it to be a joke, we want people to be moved." In 2016, Cohen would appear on Howard Stern's show on SiriusXM and gave his version of events and made a surprising revelation of the original script and why he walked away.
You were working on this biopic of Freddie Mercury and
Yes.
Queen. You worked on it for 6 years.
Yeah.
The whole thing fell apart. The band, Queen, wanted to clean it up, and you wanted to get into the nitty-gritty, right?
Yes.
What did the nitty-gritty mean? Like, you wanted to get into his sex life?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there are amazing stories about Freddie Mercury. You know,
Crazy.
crazy. The guy was wild. I mean, he was living an extreme lifestyle. That
Debauchery.
debauchery. I mean, there are stories of, I don't know what you call them, that little people. What is the technical
little
term?
people,
Little
yes.
people with, plates with cocaine on their heads walking around parties. So,
What a scene.
but you got to remember, and I understand it, they are a band. They want to protect their legacy as a
Right,
band. They
yeah.
want it to be about Queen, and I fully understand
So
that.
why didn't you have that discussion with them up front?
My first meeting, I should have never carried on because a member of the band, I won't say who, said...
Brian May.
I won't say who.
Yeah.
But he said, this is such a great movie because it's got such an amazing thing happens in the middle of the movie.
Uh-huh.
I go, well, what happens in the middle of the movie? He goes, Freddie dies.
Middle of the movie.
I go, all right. So you mean it's a bit like Pulp Fiction? The end is the middle and the middle is the end. I go, all right, that's really, that's
Innovative.
a wild movie. All right, that's interesting. I never thought about that. He goes, no, normal movie. I go, so wait a minute, what happens in the second half of the movie? He said, well, we see how the band carries on from strength to strength. And I said, listen, not one person is going to see a movie where the lead character dies from AIDS and then you carry on.
That would be just the craziest movie.
Guys, Guys, we've got to carry on.
In 2018, the film would finally be released, and while promoting it to the Associated Press, Roger Taylor would slam Coen again, saying, "It was never really on with Coen. I don't think he took it seriously enough. He didn't take Freddy seriously enough. I think it's been a long road, but we're at the end of it now," he'd say. Taylor most recently gave an interview this year where he echoed those comments, telling Classic Rock magazine what would have happened if Coen had played Freddy, saying, "I think it would have been utter shit. Sasha is pushy if nothing else. He's also 6 inches too tall. But I watched his last 5 films and came to the conclusion that he's not a very good actor. I thought he was an utterly brilliant subversive comedian. That's what he's great at. Anyway, I think Raimi did a brilliant job in an almost impossible role." After Coen's departure, the film would be in limbo for a few more years as writers and directors came and went, and the script would have to be rewritten before being finally released in late 2018. Bohemian Rhapsody would be nominated for several Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Actor, which Rami Malek would win. The film itself would be a massive hit, grossing nearly $1 billion worldwide at the box office. That does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe. We'll see you again on Rock and Roll Your Stories. Take care.